Hey, part 2, 50 characteristics of successful salespeople. Number 26, successful salespeople challenge themselves constantly, and they're not satisfied with awards and paychecks because they correctly estimate their true potential, and their focus is being great at what they do. They want to be great. They understand by being great at what they do, the money will follow. I think one of the big mistakes salespeople focus on is chasing money, chasing dollars, when they should be chasing being great at what they do, and the dollars would flow to them. Number 27, successful salespeople are never satisfied with themselves, with their own efforts, with their delivery, or their incomes. They're focused like lasers, right? Like lasers at getting better, at becoming the absolute best they can. They understand that that is the key to having huge success, is constantly getting better. Number 28, successful salespeople are not just interested in being number one. They're interested in disrupting the status quo in their industry. They're interested in dominating their industry. They want to be not just good, they want to put distance between them and everyone else. Number 29, successful salespeople don't stay busy, they stay productive. They are always prospecting. They understand that they can't do anything without an appointment, and prospecting is a way that was what leads to appointments, so they're constantly prospecting. I recommend a book, Fanatical Prospect, Blount, Blount. Phenomenal book. That's what all successful salespeople become, fanatical prospectors. Number 30, successful salespeople willingly stretch way beyond being comfortable. In other words, they know that being comfortable is the uncomfortable, rather, or getting comfortable with being uncomfortable is a key, because everything about prospecting and about making phone calls, about closing is uncomfortable initially. But you have to learn to be a great salesperson, you have to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Number 31, successful salespeople want to create clients and referrals for life, knowing they're really passionate customers worth more than a paycheck. Look, they don't just want a one-time customer. They want that customer to turn into multiple sales. They do such a great job that those people, those clients, they want to recommend them to other people. They know that the value that they give, the follow-up they give, the problem solving that they offer is the difference. Number 32, successful salespeople never blame others for their performance. They know that if they're doing well, it's their fault, and if they're doing poorly, it's their fault. They never look outside themselves for what doing well. They don't blame it on their manager or the company, or they take responsibility. Number 33, successful salespeople are obsessed with building clientele that will take care of them and their company for years. And if you take care of your clients, if you're obsessed with building clientele, which means you're prospecting constantly, it's a constant thing I'm going to repeat over and over, that will take care of them and their company for years. That's what they need to do. They're obsessed with building clientele. Number 34, successful salespeople see failure as an inspiration for innovation. In other words, if they see that they've struggled at something, they know that they need to get better. If they lose a transaction, doesn't take place, they know that always the key is improving their skill sets, their knowledge. Number 35, successful salespeople stay hungry, knowing this is the only not to go hungry. That's really good. Successful people stay hungry, knowing this is the only way not to go hungry. And that is absolutely true. Complacent, boy, you're on the way out. Number 36, successful salespeople show up early and stay late. They're the first ones there, the last ones to leave. They have enormous, incredible, huge work ethic. Number 37, successful salespeople view problem customers, even dissatisfied customers, as opportunities to create fanatical fans. See, a problem is not a problem. See, people know that problems happen. When you really do the job to take care of a problem for a customer, when you go above and beyond and you take care of an issue, whatever it is, because things happen, products have challenges sometimes, whatever, but if you're the kind of salesperson that goes in there and says, look, I know you have a problem, but I guarantee you I'm going to make it right, I'm going to make you happy, and don't even need to worry about it. I'm going to do whatever it takes to make that happen. You're going to turn your dissatisfied customer into a fanatical fan, and that's what you want to do. Number 38, successful salespeople see a job with a fixed salary as more of a risk than an income based on commissions. There's no question with that. On a fixed salary, you can't really grow your income. Commissions, depending on the opportunity you're involved in, right? And that's one of the things you want to look at if you're going to get into the sales business or you're in the sales business. You got to see, is there like basically an unlimited upside? If I get really great at what I do, can I grow my income exponentially? And that's what I always looked at. I'd much rather be on commission than to be on a fixed salary, because then I'm in control of my income. Number 39, successful salespeople value connections with their community as the main goal of commerce. In other words, they develop relationships within their community. Those relationships turn either into transactions, or they turn into referrals. Number 40, successful salespeople are devoted to being in their absolute best physical and mental condition. If you're going to have an amazing work ethic and you're going to have to be able to stay with it long term, you have to be in good shape. You need to eat right. You need to be physically in good shape, and you need to make sure, from a standpoint, you're reading all the right material to stay really sharp mentally. And if you do that, that's going to lead to more success. Number 41, successful salespeople have the work ethic of an obsessed person and the persistence of a maniac. I love that. It's absolutely true. Let me repeat that. Successful salespeople have the work ethic of an obsessed person and the persistence of a maniac. Man, that is ever true. Everybody I've ever met that's usually successful has those characteristics. Number 12, successful know that logic, dream killer. Instead, they trust instinct, creativity, and passion. I never would have built a 10,000 plus course and earned the kind of income and got debt-free and financially independent. It's me being illogical, thinking outside the box, thinking big, that's allowed me to do that, and it will you too. Number 43, successful salespeople are smart with their money, not overspending, creating themselves and their families. Look, the real goal is not things. I know things are fun, the nice car, the nice house, and travel and all that, and those things will come with time. But the most important thing, in my humble opinion, is getting debt-free and financially independent so that you have freedom, because freedom's the real prize. I know most people don't really understand that. They don't see that. But I'm telling you, don't overspend. Don't be very slow to raise your overhead, and as your income increases, invest more money. Get free first. Then, if you want to buy the nice house and the nice cars and all that stuff and travel, fine, not a problem. But get debt-free and financially independent first is my advice. Number 44, successful salespeople are good at starting things and they're great at finishing them. What most people that end up having mediocre lives, they never finish anything. But successful people, they start and they finish them. Number 45, successful salespeople don't seek the easy way, but instead pursue discomfort and difficulties knowing customer valuations. Like we said, don't take the easy route. The easy route is almost always the route to mediocrity. Number 46, successful salespeople use agreement and acknowledgement like magicians, keeping negotiations alive that others let die. In other words, they keep on following up. Number 47, successful salespeople are completely convinced that what they're doing is making a difference for their clients. Look, if you're not involved in a product or service that really makes a difference for people, you need to look for another product or service, because you need to feel that what you're doing and be convinced, be completely and totally convinced that what you do is great for your clients. If you feel that way, you're going to be much more apt to prospect, much more apt to close. 48, successful salespeople seek to be number one in their sector and their industry, not for ego, but knowing it will result in more sales, because when you're number one, people want to do business with number one. People want to follow number one. People want to be part of a winning team, a winning organization. You should focus on being number one, not for your ego, but knowing it will result in more sales, more, in my business, more recruits, and it's absolutely the truth. Number 49, successful salespeople obsess over dominating their industry, not competing, as I said before. And lastly, number 50, successful salespeople take responsibility for the entire sales cycle from start to finish and are willing to get involved in things that other departments would typically handle. They want to make sure everything goes the way it should go. So this list comes right out of Sell or Be Sold. Great book, great stuff. The awesome Grant Cardone.